you. So we're gonna be talking about the Monique situation. So what's going?
OMG.
Have y'all heard about Monique? What's your thoughts on
Of
that?
course. Well, first of all, I like Club Shay Shay.
Me too.
Yeah. My thoughts on Monique is like, I always liked Monique. I always knew that she was telling her own truth. But I think that sometimes, no matter what it is, it's the delivery. And I think that sometimes it's her delivery. And for me as an African American, I'm okay with her delivery because shit, my mama delivers that all the time. But not everybody can do that. You know what I'm saying? Even when I'm looking at fitness Instagrams and I see the delivery of these other fitness instructors in Atlanta and stuff, and I'm like laughing because this girl said, "Oh, bitch, all I see is knees and blah 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 blah." If I would say that, I'm like thinking, shit, that is so bad. But it's the truth. It's what I want to say. It's how I want to say it, but I don't. So I'd rather go to click on somebody else's because since I'm in this little bubble by myself, I'm afraid. I'm not afraid, but I don't want to say, "Oh my gosh, Jeffrey's going rude." You know what I'm saying? But to hear that, is to me, it's not rude. It's like you're making jest about somebody and then they're trying to correct their form. But then sometimes when we're so sensitive, oh my gosh, I don't want to feel. You know what I'm saying? So because of the sensitivity of people, I don't want to do that. But I'm saying that to say that I think that Monique, I
I mean, you
loved
hit on
hearing
a
her say
good
it.
point. Delivery is everything, especially when you start to get a reputation for having a sort of attitude or being difficult to work with.
Did you not listen to the interview? She said that was all said by Tyler Perry. She doesn't have that. You ain't listened to the interview, did you?
Will you tell me about the interview?
That's why we talking about Monique. So Monique was on Club Shay Shay doing an interview, and they discussed everything that's happened, all the hot topics, her being blackballed in Hollywood. And then she clarified she wasn't blackballed. Tyler Perry started a rumor in which she has recorded. Let Shay Shay listen to it, where Tyler Perry is saying, "Yeah, you know, I started that rumor, but I clear it up after the Oscars. Yeah, my bad." So does she have a bad reputation? No. The reputation came because somebody in Hollywood, a high person in Hollywood, this man is a billionaire. He created something and he has refused since then to take away from what he said in the beginning, which then she is fighting tooth and nail with people, and then the eyes on her is making it look like she's a bad person and a hard person to work with, when in reality she is fighting to survive. And when you are fighting to survive, you are like, well, now I got to come at you in all these different ways, in which she has done. So I really want you to listen to the interview because there's so much. It's a 3-hour interview and she covers so many topics. And there are people in Hollywood who I used to respect and revere, and now I'm like, I'm looking at you sideways. Now, granted, it's her opinion, it's her truth, but I've heard certain things about other people, the people that she was mentioning, and I'm like, yeah, I'm looking at you a little suspect now, but sorry that Monique went through so much. She went through a lot.
I mean, I've been a fan of her since the Parkers. So I always want to see her win because she was like one of my icons growing up. Right. So it's one of those things of like, I kept wondering, like, what happened to her? Why didn't she become, more major and mainstream? And why is it now that she is like struggling to get herself back out there, get certain contracts? So I understand where she's coming from.
You think it's because Daddy?
Oh, her man.
But, she mentioned something about how she respects her husband, and I really like how she respects her husband. And it's not that her husband makes her do anything, but he should be standing by her. I think that Almond would be mad at me, mad as hell, if I was not on his side. Even if he is in the total wrong, he wants me behind him. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I get it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No. You were saying some good stuff.
I mean, and I like her. She has been funny to me. I think that with the rumors, and I think that with her being aggressive and constantly going, constantly talking about that, it has made her seem like, what's Monique talking about now? You know what I'm saying? And even though I wanted to see her on Club Shay Shay, I think that one of the parts of me wanting to see her, because I knew that once Taraji had said the stuff that she said, and then Monique was like, oh my gosh, finally, thank you, sister. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like thinking, okay, I believe that there's truth. I believe that there was truth before because I know, and black people know, of the inequities of pay, no matter what. So I knew that there was something. It was just in her delivery. You know what I'm saying? And then when you're doing something and then you're talking about another person, like you calling your spouse daddy, or my spouse did this, or my husband, then it kind of makes your husband that bad person instead of you standing up on your own. Because if it was your agent, you wouldn't say a word. And if your husband's your agent, you still ain't gonna say a word, because you don't go behind and say, well, my agent said this and my agent said that. You know what I'm saying? Me and my agent, people don't do that. And so because she kept throwing her husband and keep putting her husband, it's almost seeming like, yeah, it's me and my husband against the world. Your husband is speaking up for you, understandable, but you're making it seem just like, I think it's just too aggressive. They're just being a little bit too, she comes across a little bit too aggressive. And I don't want to say that about a black person. I don't want to say that about anybody, but this is anybody coming across as aggressive. Boom. I'm black. I'm not saying that she's being mean. I'm just saying that that's how it is coming across. And you're amazing. You can make people laugh. You laugh at yourself. You push yourself. You are a great girl. Bitch, every time I can watch Precious over and over again. And even though you're a serious bitch, you make me laugh. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Girl, watching the Queens of Comedy and seeing her, she is a funny person. And I think that sometimes the more that she talks, the less that people want to see her, because it's like, we're misconstrued.
Well, because like I said before, she was fighting for the truth to come out.
Correct.
And it wasn't coming out. And so then she went from being haha funny Monique to serious Monique, and every time she do an interview, she's gonna talk about Tyler Perry, and she's gonna talk about Oprah, and she's gonna talk about DL. And it's, yeah, nobody wants to keep hearing that over and over and over again. But when your back is up against the wall, and these are the people who have done you wrong, and you just want them to come forward and say, yes, I did you wrong, so that you can feel vindicated. I get where she's coming from. In this interview, she didn't come across as mean. She didn't come across as aggressive. I don't even know if it was because she was drinking. I think she was just at a point. She's at a point, my opinion. She's at a point where she's like, look, y'all, here's the information. Let's all sit down and chat. Let's all clear this up. Let's just be good.
Yeah. Do you think that having Cat Williams sit down and doing that great interview with Shay, do you think that it was a part of that made it easier for her?
I think it made it easy for her because she was on the heels of that. And she even mentioned it several times in the interview as like, yeah, you know, he's speaking his truth and I'm speaking mine.
Shannon be all in it.
Shannon be all in it. I don't know if you saw D.L. Hughley's responses, but D.L. is big mad. And he's really mad at both Shay Shay and Monique. He said, Shay Shay is just Wendy Williams lifting weights. And I cackled because I thought it was funny. But at the same time, I was just like, that is so rude. You mad at this man for having her on the show, for interviewing her. So now you're going to have to come at him. And then he also fat shamed Monique in his rebuttal to whatever it is that their issues may have been that she brought to the forefront in the interview. And it's kind of like, why?
Okay. What was the issue that she brought about DL?
Because she had went on his podcast, and he wasn't there that day, but one of the hosts was like, let's play this game, Would You Rather, or whatever the name of the game was. And it was something about, they talked about daddy.
I got you.
And so then afterwards, she looked at the little host and was like, this ain't cool. I didn't like that.
Right.
And then she immediately got on the phone with DL and was like, hey, I don't like that.
Right.
Her story is she told DL that, and he said, this is how we get down.
Okay.
DL's story, which he said, he was like, she immediately called me, like she said in the interview, but I never posted her interview on my podcast. Correct. He said, you can go on any of the sites and you will never find that podcast interview. So clearly there is some disconnect somewhere in there.
Okay.
But
that could have happened, and he
I
did not post it. He could have said the same exact thing, and he didn't post it. But moving on, because we all love Monique. Wonderful person. DL is wonderful. There's like beef going on about some, like, I'm getting all this nasty, juicy scoop from just the back and forth rebuttals of all of the entertainers. But Tiana, give us your last response on.
Oh no, I
Monique.
didn't know we was wrapping her up because I thought we was gonna get into the Tiffany Haddish part because didn't she have some words back and forth with her
Okay,
too?
we
She
can keep
did.
going, honey. So
She had words for everybody.
So-
and she also had words for Charlemagne the God, and when he gave her Donkey of the Day. And since then, he gave her Donkey of the Day for the whole thing with having Daddy as her manager and stuff. Since then, he has issued an apology on his show. Saying, you know, I do apologize for calling you Donkey of the Day. I was wrong for that. I didn't have the information. And you know what? That's all Monique is asking for from everybody else.
what did you think about what she said about Tiffany Haddish on Tiana, and tell the audience what you remembered about that?
Oh, about her, just this. Tiffany said something about her and Daddy, and then she fired back and she said, I wouldn't have 2 DUIs, and she just started dogging Tiffany Haddish out. That's what.
But she said it so eloquently.
Okay, I was
so
gonna
let's not say she dogged her.
Right.
It was very poised
Let
and
me
beautiful.
hear it. Let me hear it. With the way she said it, she just crossed her legs. You know, she can say that, but I think if Tiffany Haddish had a daddy, she wouldn't have 2 DUIs.
And
And if she had a daddy, she wouldn't be making such bad choices that she's making. So maybe she does need a daddy.
and she wouldn't be caught up in something that looks like she's grooming kids for pedophilia.
Amen. Ding, 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 ding.
I was like, oh wow, she said it so cute.
got opinions.
Huh. But the interview was fun. I think Shannon Sharp is starting to get the reputation of people coming on his show and airing
And
it.
who cares? I love it.
I mean, I don't care. I think because he's had several good interviews in between Kat and Monique, because he had 21 Savage and he had Usher. And I felt like both of those interviews were so informative. It was a lot. Like, I'm not a huge 21 Savage fan, but I learned so much about that man. And I'm a huge fan of Usher, but I also learned even more information about Usher. So you know what? Kudos to Shannon Sharp. Keep doing your thing, boo. You are fine by me.
I want to